about the importance of just writing. Now, again, it had been a few days. Um, Here and there, I tried writing a longer piece, but it's like, some of us like long form, writing long form. Um, I prefer to write short stories, and I prefer to write short films. And I've been watching some really, really good short films lately. A couple of them have been Halloween short films. One of them, it was like Scarecrow meets Michael Myers or something. I can't remember what production company, but it's literally a bunch of kids making movies on YouTube, which is great. Um, and again, I just wrote, you know, maybe a one-page script about old Charlie Bowles from the original Halloween. And when I'm done with it, or when I convert it to being typed because I wrote it out by hand, I'm going to put it on up on Script Revolution and let whoever wants to read it there read it. And now I'm writing an original piece. Uh, Again, writing an original piece that's really awesome, really a lot of fun. Um, just to basically get right again. Um, and remember that you have to be happy with your work. Because again, everything you've learned as a writer, you know in your heart that you may not always like. You may not always. What's the right phrase here? I don't know what phrase I want to say here, but it's like writing with an audience in mind may be different than writing for yourself because you know what you like, and any creative writers out there knows uh, how different uh, it feels to be a creative writer, to be proud of your own work and the scrutiny of that first draft of how many different ideas you're getting. And it's like, oh, um, I don't know. To me, whenever I'm getting my stuff workshopped, and it's like, dude, yeah, you're a writer, so you should let it demoralize you. But it's just, I don't know. Right now, I'm just worrying about, you know, forget about okay, an audience seeing this. Forget about any of that stuff. Write the story for yourself first. Because to me, And again, this is starting in the very bottom of the basement with writing advice. Does it feel right to you? Um, and start with that. Um, be critical of your own work, but know that again, these are Halloween themed stories. Is your hook good enough? Is your title good enough? Are your characters good enough? Um, does the tone you intended to set feel like it was accomplished? And again, get real happy and comfortable with your own work before showing it to anybody. Um, because again, everybody talks about Halloween Ends, and what's been fun about that movie is how it's turned into a creative writing exercise. Like, I don't know many Halloween movies or many movies that people have been treating like a creative writing exercise that much. Um, like, I don't know, people are legit acting like Halloween Ends still isn't finished, even though it's been made into a movie. It is what it is. Like, people are still suggesting this is what they should have done, could have done, and it not a rough draft, but it feels like we're watching the first movie to ever be a living rough draft where people that aren't even writers are coming up with their own storylines and suggestions. Um, and again, people do that a lot online, but I don't know on this scale, in my opinion. And it's because it was such a big departure from what was expected. And again, Halloween Ends in my work. I wanted to try to, talk more about my stuff. Um, but like I said, that Charlie Bowles short fan film I just wrote. Charlie Bowles had a overprotective mother that died, and it said he fell in love with the void, like meaning the void that she left. And since Michael Myers is this blank vessel, and thinking of this happening uh, on Halloween night, 1963, in Russellville, next town over, and then years later with Corey Cunningham, um, and it's like we're going back, like this cycle is repeating because Corey's mom is overbearing, she's overprotective. Um, but there's that slight difference because not only did he, this guy's mom died and he loved her, but he fell in love with the void. Uh, Corey in the movie killed his own mom, just like Michael killed his own sister. Um, so I don't know. It felt like that felt very cyclical. Like someone's even going to take up the mantle after Corey, and maybe we're going to get another rebirth of sorts for Michael Myers. Um, I don't know. But again, that's that story, and I'm not I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about this, not challenge, but, well, kind of a challenge myself. I fully plan on writing 10 short films. And then, because I'm somebody that when I write, I want why I like short fiction, why I like poetry, why I like short films. They're short. And I can get a whole lot of ideas out there and get little samples because my ultimate goal, I want to write by the end of this year one like shorter novel, novella. Like you guys remember the old Goosebumps books, like literally between 120 and 150 pages. William Goldman, was that his name? I believe it was William Goldman. He talked about his first book. He wrote it was 150 pages. Someone turned it into a screenplay, or because it was so short, but he meant it as a book, a 150-page book, which, if done right, that should be about 50,000 words, which is wonderful. However, in my opinion, I want as many short samples of works so that I can go with, I want to write a short story collection. I want to write an anthology movie. I want to write a Christmas movie. I want to write a horror movie that's just a whole feature length. And I want to write me a full length book. But I'm starting over to get all them little projects out. And somewhat little profitable projects, or at least ones that I'm proud of that will hold me over and say, okay, buddy, now let's push into writing those bigger projects so that you're satisfied with the work you're doing or you've done. So now you can go work on those other projects that you actually like and care about at the moment. Now, with that being said, guys, I don't know where you're writing, if you're writers. Um, but I want you all to visit, as R.L. Stine would say, the what if store. Now, again, can I help you? Because I'm a horror writer, I'm writing horror stories. So I feel like if I tried to help you, it would just be like very generic advice. Because, um, and again, trust me, good writing is good writing. I believe that. Um, I don't know. I want you to explore what you want to explore. And please give yourselves permission to do so. Because, and like my brother said, growing up, because of one parent, we had a very judgmental parent that, again, like he said, and, I became kind of critical too. So he kind of caught it from two directions of, being criticized for basically liking what he liked when it came to movies and TV shows. And so he's like, not ashamed of it, but he was like, I was kind of afraid to admit, oh, I like this show, oh, I like this movie. Um, and again, when you have a dad that will criticize, what you like and think you're weird because of it, you can be ashamed of yourself, of what you write. And it's like, if I didn't embrace who I was as a writer, what I like to watch, I couldn't have had any success. I would not be in all 6 issues of Demonic Visions, which is available up on Amazon in paperback form and Kindle. So it's an ebook as well as paperback. I would not have won honorable mention in L. Ron Hubbard's Writers of the Future. I would not have one movie made up on YouTube called All the Lonely Boys, and another one in pre-production called Working Man. And again, Working Man was just my my frustrations and feeling trapped as a working man, which kind of ironic. That was the last thing I wrote, I think, right before I got fired, like a day or two before that, of feeling trapped. So, and again, all because of my own anger. Cost me my job. Now, my brother says, stuff happens for a reason, and I like to believe that too, because, if you keep saying, like I did, I was like, oh, I just forget this job. I just want to go away. I wish I didn't have to, because my goal has always been be a writer, be like an R.L. Stine or a Stephen King, where I can just sit at home and write all day and people will pay me money for that. And again, so I kind of feel like I cursed myself, I jinxed myself, basically praying to get out of that job. And then, oh crap, you actually did. Which you want to call that karma, you want to call that, what would you call it? Call it karma, call it whatever the fluff you want to call it. I don't know, bro. Now, we're a little over 19 minutes into this live. My current project, again, these 10 short films are all going to be Halloween themed, which brings me to my next point. Guys, no matter what genre you write in, we're getting really close to Halloween. We're getting close to October. Or even now, you could write a Thanksgiving one. You could write a Christmas one. Because, like there's a great great. Matter of fact, I might go watch that now. Netflix documentary or a show called something like Movies We Loved or something. And one of them talks about Home Alone, and they're talking about working on the movie in February to be worked on and released for December that year for Christmas. Which, you know, unless it's something you could quickly publish or get out there real quick, I probably should have been working on more Halloween stuff uh, earlier in the year so it could be released closer. But that's okay because they're evergreen. And uh, Halloween and Christmas, it'll always be relevant again eventually. Now, again, I want you all to embrace whoever you are as a writer because anybody ever heard of Michael McClellan? That guy, and he's got books up on Amazon. Turtle Up, Oyster Blues, and he just released something else. And he's gotten good reviews, Michael McClellan, and he was my old creative writing professor. And he was one of those guys that wanted me to write. He wanted me to improve and like step outside myself and like write different stuff, which is fine and understandable. But like my creative writing professor in because I went to Wittenberg University in Springfield, Ohio. Um, Graduated back in like 2017, and it was really fun. It, honest to gosh, was um, my screenwriting professor encouraged us, write what write the genre, like whatever you watch, whatever you write, go with that. Um, which is genius because there was a YouTube video the other day where this lady said, um, if you go into writing and you write, let's say, I can't remember which example. Well, I think it was like, don't write a horror movie and that's not your genre, like your comedy, let's say. Because your meeting is going to be with horror people, and then if that's successful, chances are good they're going to want you to write more horror. And then, like William Martell said, when you're rewriting, it's going to be torture because it's something you were just doing for the money, and you're not invested. Versus if you're a horror writer and you're writing horror, then you're loving that. You're like, yeah, this is my element. This is where I'm at. Um, because again, I don't care Like, trust me, there could be guys and girls out there, like, it's like I write it all, and I love writing it all. I mean, God bless you, honestly. However, writing wise, um, I think more people are more like I write science fiction, I write romance, comedy, more literary, whatever. And embrace that, guys, because you need to write what you love. Um, and again, talking about writing again, the urge came back. Like I just said, I don't want to write these other dumb stories. I want to try to write my book now. I got inspired just talking to you guys. Um, and I appreciate that. Um, uh, so, thank you for watching this. Have yourselves a wonderful night. You can't run.